What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Black Belt Business Podcast. I'm your host, Eliot Marshall, and it is my goal with each episode of this podcast to share the stories, strategies, tactics, tools, and resources that will help you establish or grow your martial arts school. The Black Belt Business Podcast is brought to you by Easton.Online. You can find all of our digital courses, martial arts curriculums, and resources designed to help you enhance your business at Easton.Online. So without further ado, let's jump into the episode. What up, guys? How we doing? Back, another episode, Easton.Online. What up, Mike? What up, Ian? How are you guys?
Howdy.
Hello. Everyone doing well?
Doing great.
Look, we are going to talk about, I don't want to say our favorite systems, but kind of like the matrix of the systems, like what we'll feel, and we're each going to kind of take one as the important systems that run Easton, right? That we really use at Easton. And we talk about this one a lot. Mike, we're going to jump right into it with you. And you're the one who really found this for us, EOS, the Entrepreneurial Operating System. Go ahead, have at it.
Yeah, I can't start this without some preface of I love quadrants, I love mental models, and I wish I had a better memory for them. But one of my favorite one is like the Eisenhower matrix or model, where you're like important, urgent, all that stuff. It helps me make decisions. But one thing, what we're going to talk about today is maybe the business quadrant, and like there's 4 quadrants that have to match up before you market. Right, and the 3 that you have to get together, which is the 3 we're going to talk about, is your culture, your processes, and your product. Right, and you'll hear a little bit where they relate. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is Ian and I will kind of connect on this, but the processes. So,
and look, let's be real clear here on this. Everyone thinks marketing is such a big thing, and if you do marketing first and don't have these other things, you're wasting money.
You have a sieve. You're just a colander.
Yeah, you're wasting money.
Yeah. So for me, the thing that I'm an operator, right? Like I think I was a born operator. I didn't realize that till later on in life. But for me, I like seeing holes and problems and fixing them. And I've always struggled to find, but I'm not the best at creating something. So years of studying, one day my friend recommended this book called Traction by Gene Wickman, which is the EOS operating system, or Entrepreneurial Operating System. And this book basically breaks down all facets of the business, every individual part, like your business, your business plan, which is like your vision, your 5-year, 10-year goal, your marketing strategy, your 1-year goal, your income, whatever you want. The first page, it says, okay, this is my business plan. And from there, you go into the next pieces of the business, which is building your core values. And then after that, you build your core processes, which is SOPs. And after that, once you have these main things built, then you go into like building everything else in the business that you track, right? So like, what metrics am I going to track? How am I going to hold meetings? And then what do those meetings look like? How often do those meetings get said? What about performance reviews? What about same pages so you meet with people constantly? EOS, their whole operating system, and their software, there's a bunch of ones you can use. They're all fine. None of them are great. Make it so easy to take. They work with any business in the world, right? Like if you ever looked at the Rockefeller operating system, it's the same idea, but EOS or like OKRs by John Doerr, there's all these other ones out there. But for me, the simplest one that we have found is this one. We've tried them all. This one worked amazing, and it's so easy to implement. And the best part is they have like a 90-page book you can share with all your staff to get up to speed on it, so they don't have to read the whole 5-book canon. So systems and having a backbone to take all the shit you have. It's like your fucking pantry, right? You throw your shit in your pantry, it's kind of a mess. You start organizing your pantry, you know where the fucking, like Elliot's pantry is amazing. Like it's and it's his wife, I think. But you look at his pantry, you know where I go in, I know exactly what kind bar I'm going to get, or I want a fruity bar or a chocolate one. It's so well organized. Traction does that for the business. It puts everything where it needs to go so you can always know where to get it.
It's really well organized. She just likes to change it all the time.
I believe that.
So like I'll buy, like next thing you know, we'll end up with 5 jars of capers. Like we had so many jars.
Remember your orzo rice? Or
yeah, same thing with the orzo, the pasta, because like she'll move them, and I'll be like, oh, I'll go look. I'll be like going to the grocery store, be like, oh, I'm going to make something with capers. I'll look where the capers used to be. Uh-huh. They're not there. I'm like, all right, we need capers. And then I come home and she's like, why'd you buy capers again?
You moved them.
Yeah, I was like, well, if you could stop moving some shit. So real quick, Mike, I want to touch on something you said. And this goes for all of the softwares, right? We're going to talk about sales in a second here, Ian.
Yes.
None of them are fucking good or great. None of them, right? No, none of them. Get over it, right?
Get
over it. You have to look. There's a couple that we really like and recommend to you. Most of, mainly. I need to get these people on the line, Phipps. They won't respond to me. I think Spark is really the best for a single studio, like a single location place. We don't use it because we can't. Because of the multiple location thing. But from all of our clients and what those ones that are using it, Spark seems to be the absolute best one, hands down. But they all are going to have issues. Your schools, it's going to have issues. You have issues personally, Mike. I have issues. Our wives have issues. Everything has issues. They're not fucking perfect. Same thing with the goddamn software.
Martial arts, people aren't putting their chin up, letting you fucking knock them out with a cross. Right? You gotta make it work.
We gotta make it work. Yeah, you're gonna run into some issues. So whatever. Look, if OKR works better for you, great. Go use OKR. But you have, for us, it's EOS, right? But you have to have a system. You have to have a way to go through how you're going to run the school.
All you contrarians out there are gonna be like, rolling your eyes. But here's the deal: there is a big study done on core values or values in general, and it is proven. Whatever the fuck values you have, it shows your business is likely to be much more successful if you get the statistic in the study than a business that does not have them.
Right. So
have direction.
Have direction. It's the same thing with your life. You point your life at something, right? You point your life at something. You fucking have a target to aim at. You're way more likely to hit it than you are without, and that's what EOS is. Right. That's what EOS is. The next piece here. Or another piece where, that is this sales piece, right? And it's in this quadrant that Mike was talking about. Ian, sales, why is it so important?
And Elliot, you're going to talk about curriculum, right?
I have curriculum,
Okay, cool. I think one thing that's really important too is and I was trying to think of how to make this useful, but it's product is king. If you do not have a good curriculum or good, and Ellie's going to talk all about this, then then eventually, even if you're great at selling and advertising, people will see that your product isn't good and they'll stop coming, right? But one of the things I have seen in my experience of just watching people run schools is there's almost this feeling like, well, I shouldn't have to market. Again, it's like a resistance to having to market and have a good, clean sales funnel. And it's like Mike said, these eye rollers, right? And it seems to come from like this idea that
I think everyone thinks they have to market. I think everyone that I talk to is like, oh, marketing. I need help marketing. What they don't have is a clean sales funnel.
Yeah, well, I'm going to touch on that, but there's almost like this. What I've just seen, and maybe it's not enough exposure on my part, but it's just people I've talked to where it's just thinking that, well, if my jiu-jitsu is good enough, or if my Muay Thai is good enough, or whatever,
if my restaurant's good enough,
my restaurant's good enough, the people it's gonna draw such a crowd that I'm not going to have to worry about all this boring process stuff. And it's like, no, you have the sales funnel is the lifeblood. That you will have no people to take your classes. So we've talked about this a lot.
And I'm going to jump in on you for a sec. One of the things, especially like in the world right now of jiu-jitsu, everyone's like, oh, look at Danaher,
Mm-hmm.
Because like he doesn't do any of this stuff, right? And like everyone knows this. He's just like this anomaly of a human. And like he doesn't believe in structure. Like he believes in small structure, you know, but not like, like he's never done sales. He doesn't start his class on time.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. Like 100%. Stuff like this. Right. Like John Danaher, he's the greatest teacher I think we've ever seen. He would not have worked without Renzo.
Yeah.
In New York City, in a perfect scenario where Renzo kept it going. Right. And even Renzo implemented all these sales systems and all. Right. But like if you're like, oh, the best in the world don't do it. Like the best teacher ever.
Yeah. But Danaher had a Beauty Day Fanatics too.
But what kept him going before BJJ Fanatics was Renzo.
Yes, 100%.
And then it launched him. Yeah. Like it would not have worked without New York City, Renzo Gracie.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So you have to have systems. You can't just rely on being John Danaher. That's what I'm saying. Like kind of.
That was that's exactly my point. And I think I think look, talking about how to have a very good sales funnel is a long conversation, and there's a lot to it. I think what I really want to do is impress upon people the importance of this. Right? It's not just about spending money on marketing dollars, because if you're doing that, you're wasting your money if you don't have. So what does that mean? And we've touched on this before, but it means having a very competent. For every step of the way, you have to make sure that you're measuring everything, right? With the 4 stages, like we talked about before in a previous episode, right? Making sure that you have competent people who are energetically and enthusiastically following all the having great interactions with people, right? Like there's so much to this, and again, we don't have a.
Everyone has that classic picture of a sales funnel where it gets like this. We don't like that classic one because it narrows too much, right? I think your funnel is more. It's wider the whole way through. It doesn't look like an actual funnel that you would pour a liquid through.
And it starts with your class coaches too. That's a really big. That starts, but that's just to the point about the big sales funnel. Everybody's involved.
Right.
The look of your school, the look of this people selling the membership, the instructors, how they look, how they're interacting with the students.
I mean, it's everything. It's the moment someone walks in the door, right? Do you have someone sitting behind the desk with their shirt off with just not giving them eye contact on YouTube, or do you have someone who stands up and warmly encourages someone to take
and not just the new person here with sales, right? Yeah. You're always selling. Yeah, because you could be selling them to quit, like a long-term member. We touch every single person that when I say touch verbally, right? Hello, goodbye. That touches our door. If you touch our door, you're being interacted with. Right? Yeah. Nobody just walks in the school, at any school. And that's part of the system that we have of sales. You have to always be selling.
Yeah, I think what I'm really trying to say here, I think this is the crux of it, and I think it's very connected to what Mike was talking about. It's like, yes, you can love jiu-jitsu, but you also have to love running a business. You have to learn how to do that. You have to get as interested in all the processes that may seem rote or mundane initially that you want to avoid because you don't know enough about them, and learn about them and then implement them. Otherwise, you will just be hampering and hindering your own success, and you won't get, not as many people, even if you have amazing jiu-jitsu, or Muay Thai, not as many people will learn from you.
I remember once Steve Lieberman, and we've talked about him before, he was helping them all when I bought in. He did our financials, all this stuff. And I asked him about hiring someone to do Google ads and SEO and all that stuff. And he told me something, and he was like, how about you learn about it first? Yeah. And I was like, God damn it. But that was great advice. It was really great advice for me. I don't know what you just said that made me think of this, but you have to be able to do them all. You have to know a little bit about all the aspects of your business. Now, look, none of us are as good as Iggy right now. We have Iggy hired to do our SEO and our ad, and all this stuff. None of us are as good as Iggy.
But I'm involved.
But you're involved. Mm-hmm. And I can remember reading books and learning and listening to fucking podcasts about what the hell SEO is. What is Google AdWords? What does the back end of my analytics account even look like? So that we can go find someone like Iggy, and he doesn't blow smoke up our ass.
It's the same with the finance. You have to understand basic accounting. Yeah, if you're a general manager and you love jiu-jitsu and you have Muay Thai, you have to understand Muay Thai. You can't, it's the Jocko calls it picking up the brass. And all the other books about great CEOs, they talk about how the CEO comes to visit a company and they get on the floor at the manufacturing company and walk around and ask how that machine runs. The staff knows you're not going to be an expert in it, but to show that you care and start to learn to understand it, you can actually be useful and help them understand the bigger picture. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? By being engaged. Anyway, I'm getting
Look, annoyed. when we had the sales problem a year ago, whenever that was.
Stop smirking back there, Phipps.
You got in there with everybody. I got in there with everyone in Denver.
Getting back in there now.
Yeah, you're getting back to what you know.
We're doing another round of it.
Yeah, but that feels good for them. Right? Yeah. That it's like, okay, hold on. They're not just telling us to get better at it. They're going to get on the ground floor with us, kind of like what you were saying, Mike, like as the bosses, let's say, and not in this mad way, but like, hey, here we go. We're in this with you. So EOS, sales, I love curriculum. You know, I love it. That for me, it's if Mike's an operator, I'm not. Like I'm a pretty shitty operator, but I love to get on the mat and teach. It's my favorite thing, other than my kids probably, and like doing stuff with my family. I fucking love it. So the idea of coming up with new curriculum, and all that is really great for me. But let's just talk about having one. You have to have curriculum at your schools. And this is one of the biggest things that people miss. And the most important curriculum that you have is your fundamentals. Okay, people mess this up so much. This idea, because they think it doesn't matter. They think they just show whatever. That does not work. It doesn't work. And it particularly doesn't work for beginners. Okay, I think the biggest thing that curriculum does, in particular for beginners, is it ensures them that they're going to be taken care of. In the sense of like, if a brown belt shows up to a fundamentals class, or if it's all brown belts in a fundamentals class and 4 white belts, if it's 10 brown belts and 4 white belts, the class is based in fundamentals. Doesn't matter. It's towards the white belts. It's the fundamentals class. And
that's hard to do as a teacher.
It's hard to do, but it's so important. And it ensures that they know, these beginner students know, that they're not going to get just the floor mopped with them or have something shown way over their head that they're never going to understand. What you're saying?
No, it gives people a roadmap.
Yeah.
Without a roadmap, you're just lost. You know, like if you go to a college course and you have no idea what the course, you know, what you're going to be learning, right? Like that's not a course. It's not a course I want to take, right? People really want to know what to expect, what they're going to learn, right? Even if they don't know what they, you know, most of the time when you have a beginner, they don't know what they don't know. But just having a repeating curriculum, it also gives people a feeling like they're getting it. You know, like you have to have some sort of incentive. Like it feels good when you've taken a class and then you know you're 8 weeks in or whatever and the class starts repeating and you've been there before and you start to be like, oh, you know what, I'm actually understanding this.
Like the warm up. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
You get the warm up, you're like, I get it now.
Yeah, this matters.
The
a
same
lot.
warm up, right? We do like curriculum, the same warm up, so that the student feels accomplished at something.
Exactly. It's so important, you know, especially with jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, where it's like it is just it's such a when you're ignorant, you really see it. You know, that's one of the beautiful things about it is you know, these martial arts have this way of really exposing ignorance in a very objective way. And so when you replace it with knowledge and you see that and you get to, it's tangible because you're learning the warm up, you see tangible improvement. That is a massive motivator. So if you don't have a curriculum and you're just showing up and teaching whatever you feel like, it's first of all, it's laziness. You know, it's like, yes, it takes time to sit down and come up with this, but you're doing your students a huge disservice.
You're doing yourself. You can't be the best teacher possible without a curriculum. Going back to the Danaher thing, he has a curriculum in his head. You know, like he knows what he's doing.
Well, everybody's. I mean, one thing that you can say is like, you know, when you're seeing someone who's worked with him,
right?
It's not like they just, you know,
they're
all doing the same things, and winning the same way. There's a reason for it.
Yeah, that's a curriculum. Yeah. He doesn't like, and now he's an anomaly again. I'm using people like, you know, he doesn't like write it down and like have it because he's only teaching all-stars, right? Like so. But like, man, when you're not going to do that, I hate to tell you guys, we're not teaching all-stars all the time. Like your school is going to be based on 2 to 3 times a week coming in, people 2 to 3 times a week coming in. Like they have families and wives and kids and jobs and shit to do. You're not, you know, every couple you'll get, you know, you do a good job, you market right, you have systems, you do sales right, some all-stars will come in. Right, you have a good product, and then maybe you'll get to teach some, you know. But you're not mostly, so you have to be able to take these people, these quote unquote hobbyists who are coming in 2 to 3 times a week, and you have to be able to make them better, and not just tougher, right? I think that's what no curriculum does. No curriculum makes people tougher, you know. It doesn't make them necessarily better. Tougher in the sense of like they can like
But you're gonna get tougher either way.
Yeah.
So why not get both?
So why not get better? Exactly. The one like if you have tougher and better, no curriculum is only tougher. Curriculum is tougher and better.
Yeah, I don't think no curriculum. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think no curriculum has any benefit. I mean, what would the benefit be except for that it's easy to go do as a teacher?
You can get tough.
It's easy to go do if you're the only teacher.
Yeah,
and then if you have some other person you want to help teach, and they go in and teach whatever the fuck they want, and they barely, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
We didn't even touch that piece with curriculum. If you have no curriculum, you're tied to the school for your whole life, every class.
Yeah, there's I just don't see any benefit at all. Like, yes, people get tougher, but like Mike said, that's just an ancillary benefit of doing jiu-jitsu. It's like it's going to happen regardless. It's not because of, it's in spite of, not because of.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
It's just.
If you do jiu-jitsu, you get tougher.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This quadrant is key. So we mostly talked about processes, it seems like here, because sales falls under process, but product is the other piece of it, which is the curriculum, and then the culture one, which we didn't talk about, is, again, these are all connected, but again, going back to
Phipps, put that on the list. Culture. We'll do a whole podcast on culture.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make sure we hit culture next time. And you have to everyone, please understand that these are not separate. They are intertwined. It's like, it's a matrix, right? Like you can't blow one of them. Obviously, I would probably say the most important one you can't blow is your product, because nothing can overcome a bad product. Absolutely nothing can overcome good sales, amazing systems, all of that. Your product sucks, you're fucked.
Product is king.
Product is king. And the next two are close seconds, we would say.
I want to shit on some karate schools right now,
but don't. Be careful. Yeah, good job.
Not bad. There's plenty of good karate schools, but there's a certain person out there in this world that I really dislike, and it's bothers me how much how many kids get duped by this, and parents.
We're going to cut it before Mike does. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. Don't forget Easton.Online. You can DM me. You can DM the Easton.Online. You can DM Mike Phipps over there. He's on as well. We are here to help you with all of these things that we talked about. Mike talked about the EOS. Ian talked about sales. I talked about curriculum. We have all this dialed in for you so that you don't have to come up with your own shit, right? Obviously you can find all of it on YouTube, separately, and then have to figure it out, put it together. We have all of them for you in one easy product to help you grow and implement in your school. So that's it. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Ian. We're out. Later, guys.